everyone. Welcome to the Sierra Vista City Council meeting for July 14, 2020. I call the meeting to order, and I'd ask Mrs. Adams to give us a roll call, please.
Mayor Rick Mueller.
Present.
Councilmember William Benning.
Present.
Councilmember Gregory Johnson.
Present.
Councilmember Angelica Landry.
Present.
Councilmember Mark Rodriguez.
Present.
Councilmember Carolyn Humphrey.
Present.
Mr.
Good.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you very much. We'll start tonight, as we always do, with the invocation and the pledge. Tonight, the invocation will be led by Councilman Rodriguez and the pledge by Councilman Johnson. Please rise as appropriate.
Please bow your head and pray in your faith as I pray in mine. Thank you, Lord, for our recent rains, which are much needed in our area. Please continue to keep our community safe, especially those young ones currently out of school and enjoying their summer. As we approach an election season, please bless us all with patience, respect, and tolerance to be level-headed, kind human beings. As always, keep our brave first responders and military safe as they perform their duties all around the globe. Now let's we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Please join me in the pledge to the flag of our republic. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Thank you, Councilman Johnson. Thank you, Councilman Rodriguez. Item number one is acceptance of the agenda. Mr. Benning.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move the agenda for the regular city council meeting of July 14, 2022 be approved.
Second.
It's been moved to second. Any additions, corrections?
None.
Seeing none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign? It's unanimous. Thank you very much. We now go on to awards and presentations, and we have some recognition for City Hall Employees of the Year. As I move around front, Mr. Patuchik will talk about them.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We're here tonight to recognize three employees from our administrative area in City Hall tonight for recognition as Employees of the Year. And we have three fine employees. The first one is Gilbert Fuentes, who's not with us tonight, but I just want to say a few words about Gilbert. He really embodies public service. He retired from the city as police commander, and then started a second career as a code enforcement officer for us, a neighborhood officer. And that is a great training ground, being a police officer, to be an excellent neighborhood officer working with people. He demonstrates great skills working with people, difficult situations, property situations, and all that, and it really has a heart for public service. Just one thing that was said about him, one evening after he worked, he noticed a transient near a culvert that had previously been cleaned out. He went down to inspect it, and while engaging with the individual, he was attacked by a dog and suffered a dog bite while his wife watched from the vehicle. So instead of going out that night, they spent a good part of their evening at High Desert getting his wounds cleaned and checked out. But that just shows the kind of person he is. He was off hours, and he went down and tried to assist that person that was in that culvert. And, unfortunately got injured doing that, but he's always looking for those opportunities to help people. Our second one is here tonight, and that is Lisa McGowan. And Lisa, would you come up? Yeah. Lisa serves as the admin assistant for the city clerk's office and also supports the city attorney in her role. And there's a lot that goes into that, so it's a very busy and challenging job in and of itself. But the reasons that Lisa was nominated for the awards and was a runner-up was because she also is very helpful. She takes turns at the front desk when they need help there. She helps with billing and people that have problems with business licenses or needs things notarized. Most recently, she helped out with the city's website. We had a problem with an upgrade, and a lot of people were not able to pay their bills online, so she actually put together an instruction manual online to help people with that process. But really the main reason Lisa is a great employee and was nominated was because she also volunteers at the Nancy Grua Animals Control Center. And she spends a lot of weekends there, and is also part of the Desert Cat Rescue and Sanctuary. And she has a real heart for animals, and especially cats. And we do appreciate all the service you provide to the community besides just your job here. And then our City Hall Employee of the Year is Jen Dillahay. They're very shy, so I don't know if I can get them after this. But Jen is really a go-to employee for us. She serves as the city's budget officer, working in my office, which is challenging enough to begin with. Being the budget officer is a very, very responsible position. It's a big job and a big project to do every year. And what's really great about Jen, and one of the reasons she was nominated, is she's worked her way up through the organization. She started as a dispatcher, actually had Lisa's job, then worked as my executive secretary, and is now the budget officer for the city. And she did that through hard work, great performance, a great attitude, helpful attitude, and also educating herself along the way, and certainly deserves to be in the position that she's in. And we asked a lot of her. Another of the main reasons why she was nominated and then became a City Hall Employee of the Year is her work as a dispatcher was very important to us. We're very short on staff in our CCOM Regional Dispatch Center, and she volunteered to train up on the new system that's down there, and also helped out and took many shifts, and it was very important to do that. So for those reasons, Jen is our Employee of the Year.
Speech.
Definitely very blessed to be surrounded by awesome coworkers that love the city and love their community and do their best.
Tina.
Thanks, Jen. And Mr. Mayor?
Well, I just like to say that we have a dead mic? No. I would just like to say we have a lot of great city employees in all our departments. The competition for their Employee of the Year has been very tough. We have two ladies here and another gentleman who's not here that exemplify the great quality of folks we have working for the citizens of Sierra Vista. So, thank you.
We'll get it to him at the lunch.
Chuck, you're up.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. Your next regularly scheduled work session is scheduled for Tuesday, July 26, 3 p.m. here in the council chambers. And of course, your next regular council meeting is Thursday, the 28th, 5 p.m., also here in the council chambers. A few items to address tonight with regards to projects. The project for the Avenida Escuela extension and Charleston Road replacement is expected to be finished August 2022, so that's next month, so please bear with us out there. At long last, the generator for the EMS substation has finally come in, and that was the thing holding up that project. And once that gets installed. We should be able to issue a certificate of occupancy by the end of this month, and we'll be operating out of that center. The Animal Control Center Improvement and Expansion Project I mentioned on Tuesday, and the design work is started on June 8th, and hopefully that all will be finished in the April timeframe of 2023. And as I mentioned Tuesday, we'll be seeking some grant funding through the Office of Economic Adjustment in the Defense Department for similar funding to what we received for the EMS substation. And then design is underway for the Garden Avenue improvements, which is the second phase of the Fry West End project down there, and we look forward to getting that done as well. As I mentioned Tuesday, our sales tax report wasn't the greatest in the world for May. We were down like about 0.5% from the previous May in terms of sales tax receipts. But for the year, we were still year over year up 8.5%. And it just bears watching in case the national economy and what's going on there affects our sales tax receipts. So we will be watching that as well. And I also mentioned that we made our budgeted payment to the Public Safety Retirement System for this fiscal year already, and that was $6.4 million. And for the previous fiscal year, we ended up paying excess to the police portion of PSPRS in the amount of just over $840,000, and for fire personnel just over $490,000. And that should help us with our unfunded liabilities for those folks. So with that, I'll ask if there's any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Patuchik. Any questions for Mr. Patuchik? Okay, seeing none, thank you, Mr. Patuchik, for your report. We next go on to the consent agenda. Mrs. Landry.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that the consent agenda for regular city council meeting of July 14th, 2022, containing the minutes of the special city council meeting of June 21, 2022, and the minutes of the regular city council meeting of June 24, 2022, be approved as written.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments, questions, or corrections? Seeing none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed?
Aye.
It's unanimous. Thank you very much. We next move on to two public hearing items. Mr. Benning.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move Resolution 2022-050, proposed substantial amendments to the Community Development Block Grant 5-year consolidated plan years 2019 through 2023, and program year 2019 annual action plan to incorporate a third allocation of CARES Act CDBG-CV funds be approved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mr. McLaughlin, may we have the staff report, please?
Mr. Mayor, members of council, as was just mentioned, the proposed amendments before you incorporate the third allocation of the CARES Act funding into the city's annual action plan and 5-year consolidated plan. The $77,000, $209 award brings the total CARES Act funding issued by HUD to $476,457. The amendments direct the funding to serve Goal 3, which is the provision of needed services. The Emergency Crisis Fund activity will be principally used to provide rent and utility payment assistance, emergency hotel and motel vouchers, and continue the monthly Community Connect event at the Ethel Berger Center. Funding should be made available by early fall and will be distributed over the course of 6 months. No comment was received during the 30-day public comment period. Staff recommends approval of the amendments as presented.
Thank you. Before we go comments and questions to the council, this is a public hearing item. I do not have anybody requesting to address this tonight. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to address us on this item? Okay, seeing none, I'll close the meeting to the public. Council, questions? Okay, I think it's pretty clear here. I'll just mention the fact we appreciate the fact that we have the director of the United Way here who helps us distribute the funds. The city and the United Way have done a very good job of effectively distributing to the folks that need it. The funds have been provided through this process, and I'm sure that will continue with the additional cash. So, thank you, sir, for being here. Appreciate it. Any other comments? Seeing,
I do. I have one, Mr. Mayor.
yes, ma'am.
Thank you. When we do have the subrecipient agreement with United Way finalized, is that going to come back to council for approval?
Yes, Chuck.
Yep. Mr. Mayor, Councilmember Humphrey, yes, it will come back to you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other comments? Discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. McLaughlin. We now move on to item number 4, Mr. Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move the resolution 2022-051, authorizing the submission of Plan Year 2022 CDBG Annual Action Plan to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development be approved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. May I have the staff report, please, Mr. McLaughlin?
Mr. Mayor, members of council, the annual action plan before you describes the intended use of the community development block grant funds for the upcoming program year. The city is expected to receive $252,172, which is about 1% less than last year. Our recommendation is to allocate $227,172 towards the North Garden Avenue Park improvements to provide landscape irrigation, path lighting, and benches on the upper portion of Soldier Creek Park, as well as an embankment slide. The plan also includes adding $25,000 to the emergency home repair program budget. The proposed uses of funds are consistent with the city's 5-year consolidated plan. The contents of the plan were drafted to comply with federal requirements. No comments were received during the 30-day public comment period. Staff recommends approval of the proposed annual action plan as presented.
Thank you. Any questions? Again, this is a public hearing item. I don't have anything from the public asking us to address us tonight. Is there anybody in the room that would like to address us tonight on this issue? Seeing that, I'll close the meeting to the public. Comments, questions from the council?
Just thanks for clarifying what the money's going to. For the people that don't know, when they see that project coming up ahead, soon to be coming project, they'll know where this money came from. It'll be a little bit more clear, I guess.
Any other questions or comments? If there are none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you very much. We now move on to new business, item number 5. Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that ordinance 2022-002, codification of Code of Ordinances, be approved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mrs. Adams, may we have the staff report, please?
Mayor Mueller, members of council, this is basically a housekeeping item. This is the last step in the codification process to take ordinances passed by this council between the time period of April 8th, 2021 and January 13th, 2022 to be codified into the Code of Ordinances, which makes them part of the official record of the city of Sierra Vista. The ordinances that are being codified this time are primarily development code updates. There's some departmental updates in the general part of the city code as well. The public hearing held on May 26th. Since then, during the 30-day public comment period, no comments have been received from the public regarding any of these ordinances or this particular ordinance in question. And if approved tonight, it will go into effect 30 days from now.
Thank you, Mrs. Adams. Comments or requests for council? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you very much, and thank you, Mrs. Adams, for all the good hard work there. Before we go on to comments and requests for council, I think we have an oversight on our agenda. If there's no objection, we should have a list for a call to the public to ask if anybody wants to address us on anything that's not on the agenda. Seeing nobody, then we'll move on. Comments and requests to council tonight. We'll start with Mr. Johnson.
I have nothing.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Mr. Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll try to keep it short. I have a lot of stuff. Park staff, I like that they're recognizing the park staff for this month, being Parks Month. The Rec and Roll, I love seeing that. I love you showcasing our staff that's out there As I said before, working hard behind the scenes, early, late, just keeping the parks looking really, really good. So I want to appreciate them, you recognizing them this month. Speaking of another staff, the sidewalk on 7th Street, I wanted to jump it with a bicycle. It was like that. It was perfect for a high jump. But the city staff was so fast, they started working on it already. So they went out today, and I saw they're already improving that on sidewalk on 7th Street. So the maintenance guy, they were out there, the streets guys were out there today fixing it. So quick work. I didn't get to do my Pee Wee Herman jump, so I was kind of upset about that. Some of us would pay to see that. Yeah, I would have. I could have gone Facebook Live.
Are we talking bicycle or motorcycle?
Either one.
Okay.
We talked about Gil earlier. Code enforcement. I've been working with them on some issues, just talking to people out there in the city, especially now with monsoon rains. Right, weeds are coming up overnight. But those two people there, him and Jessica, are amazing. The amount of knowledge they have in their heads. I can bring them up an address that a city resident tells me, and they have the history on it. So we're trying to work with them. I'm tired of seeing it. I am on it. Trust me. I don't want to see these people that have been taking people for granted and advantage of people and making the neighborhoods look bad. So we're working it. Trust me. I don't want to see that anymore in our city. So we're working on that hard. Personally, I am. I want to thank Officer Schilt and Officer Scott today. I was on Fry and I was leaving Lawley and I pulled out. There was this random shopping cart in the road and I thought that's going to be bad. There's nowhere to kind of pull over, so I kind of try to figure it out. But as soon as I could even think that, here they were. They turned their lights on and they stopped traffic, got out of the way, and stopped something possibly bad from happening. So hats off to those two officers today for doing things like that in our town, which in other big cities probably wouldn't have happened. They definitely would have driven by, and that's not going to happen in our town. I sat in on the Ems Advisory Board today. It's good to be back at Cochise College and amongst them. I'm an EMS graduate myself, so it was kind of cool sitting on that thing. Of note from that meeting, lots of good things, but they're looking to start some kind of maybe first responder academy align with the way we have our law enforcement academy, right? They looked at Douglas, but Douglas is not going to work out too well because there's no lodging or beds for people to stay at. We have the same problem here, but they are looking at Sierra Vista to see what we can offer to start something like that, maybe to get people certified a little bit quicker and get them employable in our area, hopefully. So that may be something maybe coming from that soon. That is funded by Prop 207 money, which if you don't know, that's marijuana money. So however you feel about that, the money's going to something good, especially like to pay for this first responder academy. So yes, that money at work. Right here in our town, in our area, doing good things for us. So I appreciate them inviting me today for that. And then the firefighters and first responders that just volunteer their time to teach in our area. I really, really appreciate them doing that as well. Last I'll say is this tomorrow, West End Fridays, right? A lot of people in the community asked about it when we had our West End Fair. Why can't we do this more often? Well, we're going to do it more often, right? So tomorrow, Friday, we're going to block it off again. Fab to North Garden Avenue. So that affects your traffic flow, sorry, but it's only going to be from 5 to 10, 11 p.m. maybe. The band's going to play from 5 to 9, I believe.
6 to 10.
6 to 10. I'm all messed up. It is Willie D vibe, right? Okay, at least I got that right. All right, so we'll see you there tomorrow, and that's all I have. Sorry I was long.
Thank you, Councilman Rodriguez. Councilwoman Landry.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to, congratulations to the employees of the year for City Hall. I think it's really important to recognize people's hard work and all the people that, do what they do. There's so many people, and people is what makes our city what it is. And we're very lucky to have the people that we do. And also, if anybody likes spaghetti or the Landmark or animals, next Saturday, the 23rd, is going to be a spaghetti at the Landmark Cafe. Tickets are $20. You get some yummy spaghetti and some salad, and it helps the animals. Their spay and neuter clinic, which is super important. So definitely check that out. You can get tickets from friends, anybody that helps with Friends of the Sierra Vista Animal Shelter. The Animal Shelter has tickets as well. So definitely reach out, have friends and family go, and support the Landmark and the animals. Thank you.
And what day was that again?
The 23rd, which is next Saturday.
Okay. Week from Saturday.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Benning, you're up.
Thank you, Mr. Bell. I don't know after all that if I have much to say, but I want to talk about Gilbert real quick. Tuesday, we're driving in to come to work session, and Gilbert's in front of me in his code enforcement truck. And a fight breaks out on the left-hand side as you go on Coronado coming here. It's like 30 young ladies are fighting. Maybe it's 20. But Gilbert stops his truck, throws on the security lights, and jumps out and starts corralling these young ladies as the police are pulling up. And it goes back to what Chuck was saying, that he'll go out of his way to do the right thing. The police in him came out, and order was restored. But congratulations to him and everyone else, Jen, and everyone else that won Employee of the Year. EMS Substation 4, can't wait for the doors to open. It's going to bring much-needed service down to the southwest corner of Sierra Vista, so I'm looking forward to that. Parks and Rec Month, it's my favorite. Parks and Rec is beautiful. We're actually doing, with Judy, we're doing a tribute to Parks in Sierra Vista, where they started, where they got their started. Our last one's tomorrow, where we'll be doing Veterans Memorial. So if you're on the Parks and Rec Facebook page, you'll be able to see the videos of how it began, etc. And the other ones on there, so you can go back and watch them also. So it's neat to see how our parks progressed, and then look at our Parks Master Plan to see where we're going. So I'm looking forward to that endeavor finished. And to capitalize on what Mark said real quick, the West End every Friday night, that goes until August 5th. So it'll be every Friday night until August 5th, so mark your calendar. The only thing will change will be the band. Other than that, bring your blankets, bring your chairs, come out and have a good time. And then finally, Mr. Mayor, I just want to say, well, two more. I want to say congratulations to all the candidates for City Council and Mayor that turned in the petitions are finally on the ballot. Good luck to everybody, and like Councilman Rodriguez said, cordial and fun. Let's enjoy this year and see who the people want to be. And then finally, to the community that reached out to myself and Christy, her family, when she was in the hospital. She was released today, but I appreciate all the prayers, the thoughts. They can be felt. The community is amazing, so I just want to thank all of them, and be blessed, Sierra Vista.
Thank you. Ms. Humphrey.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have nothing.
Thank you, Ms. Humphrey. I do have a couple of things. We do have an upcoming primary, and if the folks out there haven't realized it yet, there is no city candidates in the primary. A couple years ago, we changed our procedures so that the first time you vote, the candidates will be in the general election. And I know I'm going to get comments from folks, and we're going to get comments from folks about, I went to vote and I couldn't find somebody's name on the ballot. Well, it's not going to be there for the primary. It will be there for the general. So don't worry about that. You'll get your chance. We do have a vacancy on the council right now. The city clerk has put a notice in the paper. We're going through that process for the reappointment of the vacancy, and that will continue. There is a concert in the park tonight. I recall.
Yes, sir.
At 7 o'clock at the pavilion. So please come to that. And I've got one additional presentation that I would like to ask former Councilwoman Rachel Gray to come forward, please.
Unforgettable. Oh, that's him, not me.
Rachel, it's my pleasure as mayor tonight to recognize your service as a city councilwoman and mayor pro tem for the past several years. And tonight I will be presenting you the Mayor's Award presented to Rachel Gray for excellence in service to the community and a deep sense of civic and personal responsibility for the betterment of the city of Sierra Vista, Arizona. Signed, this is the 12th day of July, 2020. Rick Mueller, Mayor. Seeing no further business before the council, last call.
Sir.
Meeting's adjourned. Thank you.